Alright, so really quick update. I don't have a whole lot to say. I don't have a whole lot to say. I have read a little bit. I am now 179 pages into Words of Radiance, and that's the end of part 1. I'm still really enjoying it. I don't remember a whole lot of things that stood out as like, oh my goodness, this is something I need to talk about. I love Pattern. If you have read the book, you know who Pattern is. Other than that, I mean, Kaladin's storyline is cool. I love learning about Kaladin, but other than that, there's nothing really that's super worthy of talking about at the moment. Maybe it's because I haven't read a whole lot, but I have read a little bit, but I think I'm going to have to put Words of Radiance down for the moment because I've got other books that I need to read. Both Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and The Old Man and the Sea are both super short, so I mean that's like probably 1 or 2 days of reading for each of them. So I'm gonna just blow through those and then I'll get back to Words of Radiance so that I can devote all my time to that and not have to worry about not getting the other ones finished this month. Other than that, I don't have a lot to say. I'll talk to you later.
Hey everyone, I wanted to do my update for you. Beginning of the vlog, it's kind of exciting. I finished the Silmarillion, which I'm very, very happy about. It was a tough read, and I'm so glad that I'm done with it. I don't think I got enough out of it for the book to be really enjoyable to me, and my thoughts haven't changed since I last spoke to you guys, so I'm not going to say anything more about that, except I'm finally finished. I am starting The Maze Runner. I've decided to DNF Dune because I don't even want to try and listen to that right now. However, I will test the audiobook out and let you guys know if it's a good recording or not, because I know someone asked me to do that for them. So I will check that out for you, but I am not going to listen to the whole entire book right now. I am listening to the audiobook of The Maze Runner, and I only have it for a day more, and I'm only like a third of the way through the book, and I'm really bummed because I'm enjoying it a lot. So if I don't finish it, I'll try and recheck it out and maybe get the real book. I don't know. I definitely want to finish this book this month. I haven't made progress on anything else, although I will be reading All Things Bright and Beautiful and The Old Man and the Sea eventually, because those are both on my TBR this month. I'll see you guys later.
Alright guys, so as per usual, I don't have a whole lot to talk about today. So I'm currently reading Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and I'm only like 2 chapters in. I just haven't had time to read because of school and work and whatnot. What I'm seeing so far, it's not what I was expecting to see from this book. And honestly, I didn't know what to expect from this book or how the story was going to be told, but I thought that it would be following Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So far, 2 chapters in, that's not the case. Whether that changes as the story goes on or not, I don't know yet because I haven't gotten there. But I am still enjoying it. It's pretty interesting. Robert Louis Stevenson is an amazing, amazing writer. But yeah, I'm not really sure where it's going, which is a good thing. Even means it hasn't been spoiled for me even after however many years since it was published. But I am excited for it, and I'm excited to see where the story goes, and I am having fun and enjoying it so far. It's just, I'm not nearly as far into it as I want to be. I actually would have liked to have it finished by this week, but that's not likely to happen unless the rest of this week I get a lot of time to read. So we'll see how it goes. I'll for sure keep you updated, but it should absolutely be done by the end of the month. So, alright, we'll talk to you later.
Hi everyone, I wanted to do my midweek update for you. So the first thing to update you on is that I didn't have an end of the week update last week, and neither did Tony. We didn't make enough progress to share. I am almost finished with The Maze Runner. I'll probably finish it tomorrow. I'm really, really close, and there's some things I loved about it. I love the setting of the maze, and the whole trying to get out of the maze is like the whole plot of the story. There was a couple things that I'm noticing about it. It's a little bit predictable, which is saying something since I tend to be really oblivious to predictable plot points. I also feel like there was a couple easy ways out that happened in this book. And then this whole last section here that I'm at the very last. The setting has changed a lot now. I don't know what to think of it, honestly. It's kind of a shock and it's jarring because I didn't expect us to be put in this setting, and now here we are. It feels like dystopian to me, and I don't know if it is, I'll have to check. But then we have things like he has memories at the beginning, he mentions this, he has memories of eating a hamburger. And so it's interesting because it's putting it down at something that we're familiar with, and there's things in here that we're familiar with, but at the same time, it's so drastically different. It's verging on being unrealistic and unbelievable. There was a lot of mystery in this book, and it was fun to uncover it and solve it, but I do feel like we got a cheat way out, and I was a little unhappy about that because I wanted us to figure it out, and it seemed impossible, and I was like, wow, this is going to be great. They're going to have to overcome what seems impossible, and they didn't. They just got an easy way out. So that's the only problem I have with it. I don't really have any thoughts about the characters, which is kind of interesting. Chuck is amazing. If you know what happens at the end of this book, you know what happens at the end of this book. No other thoughts, no other reading updates. I'm not sure what I'll move on to after this. Maybe I had this on audiobook, and it's really helpful to have an audiobook because I tend to listen to it a lot more. So we'll see if I decide to try and find something else on an audiobook, or if I'll pick up All Things Bright and Beautiful and try and get through that. So I'll keep you guys posted.
Alright, so since my last update, I have read 4 chapters of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I've now read chapter 7 and I'm on chapter 8. I was obviously, like I mentioned in my last clip, expecting it to follow Dr. Jekyll, follow his character. But I'm actually kind of glad that it's not, because we're being able to see this process through the eyes of the people around him who knew Dr. Jekyll best. And it's really interesting to follow their perspective rather than Dr. Jekyll's, because we kind of know what's going on in Dr. Jekyll's head. Even though I haven't read it, I know that story. I did not expect it to be from these other people's perspectives. I'm really enjoying it so far. I did listen to most of the last chapters. Listening to an audiobook, I'd never get as much out of it as when I read it, but I had other things that I needed to do. I needed to read some of the book so I could keep going with it. I'm hoping to read the rest of it rather than listen to the rest of it. Well, I'll probably end up rereading this book sometime when I have time to sit down and read it and really think about it as I'm going through it. Cut it off here and say goodbye.
Hi everyone, I wanted to do my last update for the vlog. So I checked out the Dune audiobook, like a few of you requested to tell you what I thought of it, and it is recorded as like an audio drama more, as in there's different voices for different people. I only listened to about the first 3 minutes of it, which I've read already, so I kind of had the context, and it wasn't confusing from what I could tell, but I could also see how that would be confusing farther on in the story when a lot more characters are introduced. I finished The Maze Runner. I had rechecked it out from the library, so I had it for an additional 21 days, and I finished it and I returned it, and I have thoughts about the ending, and I don't know if they're good thoughts or not. It was a shock. The change of setting was a shock, and I wasn't satisfied with the ending at all, and I realized that it is a series, and so there's more to come, and I was very unhappy until I heard the epilogue, and once I heard the epilogue I was much more interested, but up until that point I was pretty bummed out. I didn't feel like I was satisfied. I didn't feel like we got the whole story, because I feel like the characters got an easy way out of the main problem, and then it wasn't what we expected afterwards, and it wasn't better, and it wasn't, I don't know, I wasn't satisfied at all with the ending, and so I think I'll probably read the second book when I can. I do think that would help me settle down with my thoughts and feelings about it. So, to conclude my progress for this week, this vlog, I finished The Silmarillion. I DNF'd Dune after checking out the audiobook to see if it was okay, and I finished The Maze Runner Book 1. And so I have 2 books left on my TBR for June, and that is The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway, and I have All Things Bright and Beautiful by James Herriot. I'll see you later.